No Limit. We back, man, and I appreciate y'all coming over here to NoLimitReacts, man. You know, if you're here for the first time, you just found me, check out my other channel, man. Link in the description, No Limit. And I got another channel as well, NoLimitPlays. That's in the link below as well. And I got a Patreon, man, where, you know, it's a no holds barred, anything goes, raw, uncut, unedited, just react to anything. Literally anything. There's nothing I can't react to on there. So that's what the Patreon's for. You know, I can speak my mind, say what I want. But anyway, y'all, man, thank you for coming over to No Limit Reacts. If you're coming from my other channels, appreciate y'all. And yeah, man, without further ado, I want to check this out. Do all addicts think the same? Without further ado, man, not gonna hold you any longer. Let's get it.
Trump supporters, Muslims, soldiers. Since we began in 2010, we've always wanted to give a voice to the vast spectrum of people who have felt judged or left out of the conversation. Today, we live in incredibly divided times.
Yup.
But what would it look like to be a part of a movement for empathy? When we launched our apparel brand, we wanted it to symbolize this movement. A community of good humans.
Hold up. Sorry,
Grateful for your support, and wherever you enjoy the.
I didn't come for the commercial now, damn it. Here we go, y'all. Do all addicts think the same? Let's find out. Strongly disagree. Disagree. Somewhat disagree. Agree. Somewhat agree. Strongly agree. See, yeah, it is though, but as well, it's not, because a lot of times someone's been through in their childhood or life, you know, something that's so traumatizing. You know, I guess at the end of the day, it really is. You know, it's like when someone's in an accident, a car accident. Well, you know, if it's at your fault, at the end of the day, you're the one behind the wheel, and at the end of the day, you're the one behind your body. You're the one making the choices. So I guess it is your fault, you know, when you break it down. But there's always underlying issues and things that people don't put into perspective and don't put in the equation when it comes to an addict, you know, and how they got there. You know, they didn't just wake up one day and life's perfect and peachy and everything's going great and, oh, now I just start. No, that's not how it happens, dude. There's always some trauma and underlying issues and stuff that they're really hurt and they have not treated that trauma. So this dude can't make his mind. He don't know what he wants to do.
I did so many drugs in my really early developing years, so that was my fault. Whether you want to talk about if it was my genes' fault that my genes made me take pills and put them in my body, you could, I guess, argue that. There is genetic components, which those are not in my control, and addictions in my family. But yeah, that's why I'm here.
No, because I'm sober now, so like, it's weird because like at first I don't know if it was, but now if I decide to take a drink or if I decide to do drugs, like I know what I'm doing. Like I know what I'm getting myself into.
It's my choice if I want to go ahead and take that drug or you know, whatever it is. Nobody put a gun in my head and made me take a drink or get high. So that's why I still strongly agree that
he's right.
Taking a drug is my choice at the end of the day.
I think for some people, it's the environment, because some people are born into households where parents suffer from drug addiction, parents suffer from alcoholism, and in more disadvantaged neighborhoods where I come from, you see a lot of mothers, you know, getting like their next fix, you know, in like 30 minutes in front of their children. But for me personally, so I suffer from my addiction from going to parties, going out. And does alcohol count as like being clean?
Yeah.
It does? Okay, well damn, I can't even say I'm sober now. Okay, fuck. All right, anyway, yeah, so I feel like it's a matter of self-control, influence, and environment. But I think for the most part, for me personally, it's self-control. Because honestly, you put a line of Coke in front of me, right now, I'm gonna sniff it. But like, you know.
Damn.
I think.
Yeah, it's not preference, man. Some people, there's just no control. It's like, once you get past that point, there's no turning back. The self-control is gone out the window. And that's why it's good to have discipline. What I've learned, dude, in life, the main thing is balance. You need balance, period. Whether it's sleep, eating, this, that, you need to balance. So too much of anything is a bad thing, right? And that's how you get addicted. If you're just doing too much, you got to balance it out. You can't do it the same. You can't do it every day. You can't do it. You got to do it here and there and this and that. But either way, you're playing with fire. Even if you are trying, you think you can balance it and I'll be fine. Because you could do that for a year or two, and then eventually your tolerance builds up, and you will get addicted. So the best thing is just don't do it at all. And another thing is like people in the military. It's like work on your discipline, man. Get up, do push-ups, do sit-ups, do what you gotta do. Be punctual. Do this, do that. Start working on your discipline, because when you start being more disciplined in life, you can be more disciplined in your decisions and in your thinking. So that's one aspect of it.
What I did started what I have. I'm food addiction, by the way. Spoiler alert, just so you all know. When I was younger, I saw so many opportunities to better myself and to look better and to be better, and I would take all of them. I would take advantage of everything. I would skip meals. I would go to the gym until I couldn't see. And so this social pressure did kind of influence me a little bit to start with like eating disorders, binging, purging. I mean, it got to the point where I was eating multiple meals and then purging them. If that's not addiction, I cannot even tell you what is.
How is that your fault, though?
I think it's from the habits that I started myself. I mean, I chose to do it myself.
But you saw the world. You saw the world.
Bulimia was. I knew exactly what bulimia was.
You saw the world
I knew how damaging it was. I know how damaging food can be. I chose those behaviors. I have to live with the repercussions.
Addiction is a disease. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
I don't think addiction is a disease. I do think it's more of a condition, because necessarily saying that it's a disease means that it spreads. Therefore, if my favorite drug is hallucinogens. So if I were to hallucinate, that's saying, oh, you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
I think it's like a genetic thing. Like I have addiction runs and alcoholism runs in my family, and I rarely ever meet people where they're like, I'm the only one in my family.
You think you were fucked from the jump, from birth, you were just this, and
no,
then you were predisposed?
I never thought I was fucked from. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Who the fuck knows, dude? But that's the thing is I didn't choose it. It's not a choice. If it was my choice, then I wouldn't be.
But that's hard to say that it's in your genes, because in your genes could just be you growing up as a child and seeing that parent drink all the time, and you're surrounded by it so often. Eventually you become, like they say, you're a product of your environment. You literally will break and mold and form into a product of your environment, what you're surrounded by. That's why you want to surround yourself with the right people. Stay away from. You know what I'm saying? It all comes down into play. It's crazy, but.
Be here. Every day my brain's trying to kill me. And that's just the way it goes. But I just got to live with it. And that's just, I don't want it, but I got it.
I don't know, position in your head. The psychology of thinking of it as a disease never really helped me. Yes, you can be predisposed to genes. What's helped me is medicine and information. AA never helped me because they're just trust this thing. And that switch never clicked. Believe me, I want it to.
Referring to it as a disease, kind of associating everyone in that realm in a negative association.
If it does keep you clean, I'm way pro using that word.
I totally relate. So there's no right or wrong on this. I think everybody has their own, whatever works for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Totally agree.
I usually compare it to heart disease because it's you don't choose to have it. Genetics have a lot to do with it, and so does your lifestyle. I mean, those are basically the ingredients to the formula of a disease anyways. I mean, heart disease is not
he's got a point there.
It's addiction, but I think it's totally a disease when you talk about how it affects people, how it presents itself, how it starts. I think that a lot of it is very similar.
Gateway drugs that are a real thing. 3, 2, 1, go.
Gateway drugs.
Whatever.
I mean, define gateway drug.
Yeah.
Everyone who's done any drug ever literally has a drug they did before that. So do you mean gateway drugs that purposely lead to other drugs? I would say absolutely not. I mean,
I think caffeine can be a gateway drug to Adderall. I mean, I was in college. I mean, I would get quad shots of Starbucks and like drink it until I'm vibrating. But I mean, then other people are like, wow, that's just not as effective anymore. I'm gonna do some Adderall. You know, I mean, it's kind of like anything can be a gateway drug, and I think it's just, I don't think a gateway drug is what people think it is.
Right.
well, humans love to do like black and white behavior, like this or that.
Yeah,
And to
it ain't
deflect
fucking
blame to an inanimate object with such a complex issue like addictive behavior is insane.
Yeah.
Like, to literally blame like a substance.
Like a more accurate one would be like, if you're fucking sad.
Yeah, he's totally got a point there. It's like, it's just anything to deflect blame from yourself and not take responsibility. It's like saying, oh, if I would have never smoked marijuana, I never would have went to this. No, because a lot of people just smoke marijuana and that's all they do ever. You know, that was your choice to move. You know, I think, I don't. It's hard though, because without ever doing marijuana, would you ever do that? You know, it's just it's a hard question, but I don't know.
And lonely and scared and fearful, and you smoke weed, you may do heroin at some point in your life, but not likely. That would be like an okay thing for me to see. I would be like, that's probably true. But not like, if you smoke weed, you're fucked.
Well, that's also why a lot of people aren't complete heroin junkies, even though they've gotten premium opiates from the hospital during a surgery. I mean, it's not a gateway drug. You don't just go in and you're like, oh man, I had a taste of that. I've got to go do heroin now. Like, you don't. I mean, you're missing that vital reason to chase the drug. I mean, if you're given it for actual pain at the hospital, you don't decide that you want to go out and do heroin when you're done. I mean, most people don't anyways.
I do.
Jesus.
Being labeled an addict. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
She's always falling.
Personally, I don't like being called an addict. Oh, like someone sees me walking down the street. Oh, she does hard drugs. You know, I just feel like everyone has something that they partake in, and I feel like just labeling someone.
Yeah, a lot of people have their vices. You know, not always drugs or alcohol. Sometimes it's gambling. You know, sometimes it's this or that. But everyone just judges. They always want to label people, man. And once you get that label, it comes with a dark way about it. It's like, you guys know what I'm saying. It's got bad juju, man. It comes with people judging you in a bad light. So that's why I think people are not comfortable.
As that is just morally offensive to me.
I think it's also the term. I mean, it's got like a really negative connotation
It
to
does.
it. And while I agree,
It's the negative connotation. That's the word I was looking for, man. The words, because it really does. It's like junkie, crackhead in the alleyway. As soon as you say that, that's what people think. You know, that's how they see you now.
that I have an addiction. To be labeled as an addict, am I comfortable with that? No, especially as a male with an eating disorder, because that is totally like criminalized. I mean, men cannot be weak, men cannot, I mean, that's like a very feminine thing, you know? It's really hard to tell anyone about it because you automatically feel less.
I'm fine with feeling bad. I think I should feel bad about it. I like it because if I start drinking, it'll be 3 weeks before I'll start throwing up, and then I'll have to quit for like 3 days just to feel good and get back to drinking. That's fucking addictive. That's not like partying too much. That's, you know, choking down vodka in the morning. And I do feel bad about it, and I'm okay with feeling bad about that. It's fucking embarrassing. Should feel bad.
I don't give a fuck what people call me. So. I mean, I'm a bunch of shit, you know what I mean? But like, it doesn't like define me as a person, but it's just part of like who I am. So I don't care. Like, yeah, and like you said, like, if I meet somebody and I'm, you know, and they're like, hey, I'm struggling with this, I'm like, yo, me too, I feel the same thing. Then it actually helps, you know, then it's like, I'm like, you know, I can be like, oh, I did that, and this is how I dealt with that.
Yeah, but notice how you said that.
What?
Hey, I'm struggling with this.
Yeah.
Not, I am a blank addict. You know, it just sounds so much harsher. I mean, I think it's the negative connotation that's
Yeah,
attached
you're
to it.
labeling yourself also with that. I feel like by saying you're labeling that spectrum, you're putting yourself in a category. And no one person should have to put themselves in a bubble of contraptment or a mental contraptment just because that's what other people want you to do.
Well, yeah, I just don't give a, like, I
didn't mean for
I know
that.
I'm in, I know I'm in the, like, minority of, like, not, like, I just don't really.
If someone's calling me out, remind me that I'm an addict, and I don't remind myself, and I fool myself one day that I'm not an addict, and I go out to get high like my friend does because he doesn't have a problem, I'm gonna die. So I'm okay with being reminded that I'm an addict because that's how I take it personally. I don't care how they're gonna feel about me. That's out of my control.
I have lost someone.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point because the moment you're like, oh, I'm not an addict. Oh, I'll be fine. I can do a little. You know, that's how it starts. Or that's how they think, dude. And it's sad, and it's so powerful that one time you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm not an addict, dude. I'll be fine. And that's it, dude. Like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years pass by, and they wake up and realize, you know, it's insane, dude. It really is. I think people should seek the proper help. You know, definitely go get the help you needed, man. If you're struggling with any of these issues, you know, there's people out there that can help. I know you're thinking it sounds like it's bullshit or it's no, they can help, man. They can help. Trust me.
I don't know anybody personally who's OD'd or died, surprisingly. I know a lot of people who probably will in the not so distant future, but I don't know anybody yet.
That's fair.
Only 24, so we'll see.
I think it's really important to note the fact that while someone may not pass away because of how much drugs they took, but how crushing their addiction actually was to their mental health, and they maybe decided to commit suicide. Did I lose someone to addiction? Absolutely. Did the drug actually kill them? No, but I mean, it drove them to kill themselves.
6 days ago, 11 years.
No limit, yo.
My first friend passed away.
Oh, man.
Sad.
Poor dude. Fuck, see, and that's another thing. It's like, try getting clean after going through that, losing your friend to that, and then knowing you're gonna die any day, but you can't stop because you're addicted, and it's just, and then you're hurting so bad from losing him, you just want to keep using, and it's just sad, man. Poor dude, because I know what he's feeling.
Sorry. Yeah, my first friend passed away to an overdose. It was 11 years ago, 6 days ago.
Jesus.
And I took a lot of responsibility for it. Because I got him high for the first time on ecstasy. High for the first time on opiates. And that was a wake-up call for me, like, you know? And
That's heavy, man. That's heavy.
then after
I know somebody, too, really close to me that I grew up with, man. You know, she was like a sister to me, like a second sister. You know, I got a sister, but she passed away from opiates, and she had 2 kids, you know, young. Oh, man, those poor babies. But, you know, left a husband and 2 children, and it's just like, God, you hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. That's why I say go get help right now, dude. Today, it's never too late. It's never too late. Trust me, man. If you take my word for anything, do it for this. Go, dude. See somebody. There's clinics. They really will help you. And if you're afraid of coming off or whatever, dude, they got medicine for that. You'll be fine. Just go do it. It might save your life, bro.
after that, when I went to rehab, I lost over 30 friends to suicide or addiction.
Christ.
So yeah, I know a lot of people personally, and like when I got into recovery, that was the one thing I did not expect. My life got better, got way better. But I started building relationships with people, genuine friendships with them, and then getting close with them. And these became my best friends. And they started, dropping like 1 out of 10. When my first friend that passed away, I got it tattooed right here. And then eventually I just couldn't keep getting tattoos for friends that passed away. So, sorry.
Rehab and recovery programs work. 3, 2, 1, go.
I had a friend who has been to inpatient rehabilitation 5 times in the past 3 years, and she's doing better, but the first 4 sure didn't work. So I don't necessarily think that they're like a foolproof way of fixing someone who has an addiction to something.
Well, there
Yeah. See, I have something to say there too. A treatment center will work to get you off of it, you know, but it's your responsibility to stay off. That's the hard part. The easy part is getting off of it. The hard part is staying off. And also, you will never, you'll never stay clean if you don't find the underlying issue to why you used in the first place. So whether you're depressed, or whatever it is, having suicidal thoughts, whatever it is, there's a reason, and you need to seek therapy, man. You need to talk to somebody because you can get that problem fixed. The reason that you wanted to use in the first place, whether it be subconsciously, it's an underlying issue that you need to get fixed, and then you can truly stay clean, and it'll be a lot easier for you,
foolproof ways to do anything, and it's not even really debatable. They work for tons and tons of people. Of course they work. They do amazing shit.
If you want it and you go in to get the tools that you need and you build the community that you get, then yeah, you can stay sober. If not, it's not gonna work for somebody who doesn't want to stay sober, period. I don't care where you go. Jail won't keep somebody sober.
Yeah, if I could live in rehab, I would. Because everything is like, they're like, you wake up at this time, you eat at this time, you talk about your feelings at this time. And then when you get out, you're like, it's not, you have a whole fucking life. Like, it's like unstructured and weird, and they help you give the tools to figure out how to navigate that life. But they're not there with you 100% of the time. Like, it's up to you.
Who do you talk to about your feelings?
Who do I talk to?
When you're out.
I don't fucking know. Everybody, y'all.
You know?
We love to hear it.
I think I'm more on the strongly disagree side because I do agree with you guys how it's like you have to want to be sober. And maybe I don't want to be 100% sober at this point, but the programs that I've tried hospitalized, I've tried counseling, I tried community-based. A lot of them are really cliquey. And by cliquey, I mean this group associates with this group, you're an outcast. It's like an episode of Mean Girls or something. And so there should be more structure, there should be more jobs open in that facility with people who are licensed to influence others and make them want to do better. I don't want them to be like us, we're sober. Tell me why I should be sober. Tell me why I should love my life. Tell me why I should stop doing what I'm doing. And I don't feel like the substance abuse programs, at least the ones that I went to, they have instilled that upon me.
I have a strong disagreement with recovery houses, the whole way recovery is going on in LA. But I think at the end of the day, if the person really wants to get sober or free from the addiction, and then they go to a reputable place that has helped them before, has helped somebody before, and they take that all in to learn new tools to stay sober instead of getting high, then it works.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all, that was Jubilee, man. Do all addicts think the same? Y'all let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you want me to react to more of these. Now, they're not all this long, I promise. This one was really long. They're usually 8-10 minutes, 12 minutes, but they are some that are a lot of fun, I promise you. And they're not all like this. Do they think the same? They have games on there. Well, I'll show y'all. We'll check them out. But anyway, man, check out my other channel, No Limit. The link is in the description. Check out my gaming channel, NoLimitPlays. And subscribe to my Patreon, man, if you want to. But other than that, man, y'all stay safe, stay out the way. I'm going, man. Peace.